Hello, everyone. Did you miss me? Admit it. You missed me, bitches. Yeah. I'm glad to be back. I was taking time off. I was having some temporary technical issues, combined with just a desire to step back for a few weeks and not be bothered with this. Kind of refresh myself, get ready for the NFL season, all of this. And just kind of was waiting for that perfect moment and opportunity and time to come back, and wham! Here it is. The Minnesota Vikings have traded for Sam Bradford. Holy Jesus. Holy Jesus. What the hell is going on here? Now, I understand the desperation of the Minnesota Vikings. They had spent this entire offseason with the philosophy of it was going to be Teddy's show. Teddy Bridgewater was going to be the guy. He's in year 3. This could be the year he steps in and establishes himself truly as the long-term franchise quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings organization. This is a team coming off of an NFC North championship that should have beat Seattle in the wild card round. You're thinking this is a team that could potentially take another step forward in 2016. This is maybe a team that even thought they had a deep playoff run in them, maybe even some premature Super Bowl aspirations. Only to sit there and see Teddy Bridgewater's leg snap 6 ways from Sunday this past week, where you're lucky he was even able to have his leg saved. Dislocated kneecap, torn ACL. All you know is that for 2016, Teddy's out of the picture. There's no Teddy Bridgewater manning the helm of the Minnesota Vikings. So what are they to do? They're going to turn to Sean Hill? Wait until Taylor Heineke comes back? Well, I guess that desperation and that belief that they were going to maybe be something this year led them to say, hey, we need to try and fortify the quarterback position. But Sam Bradford? Sam Bradford? Sam Bradford? Let's take a step back here for a moment, though, and look at this from the Philadelphia Eagles standpoint. Now, I made my thoughts on the Eagles trading for Sam Bradford last year very well known, and as always is the case with this piece of crap, I'm right every fucking time. I don't get it. What do teams see that we don't? Most people know Sam Bradford at best is average. Below that, he's mediocre and really, frankly, sucks. But numerous NFL teams keep wanting to give him chances, keep thinking that he's going to be that dude. Out of their desperation, they want him to so badly be the guy, they pretend him to be the guy, and then somehow magically down the road are surprised when he isn't the guy. It just further validates what I always say is just because somebody has a job in the NFL doesn't mean they know what the fuck they're doing. You could have said that about the Philadelphia Eagles. They gave up a couple of marquee draft picks to bring in a mediocre guy that had as many injury-shortened seasons as healthy seasons in the National Football League and never really proven anything. Just sit there and watch him in 1 year be who Sam Bradford is. Struggling to stay on the field for 16 games, which, of course, once again, he did not do. And then when he did play, you'd have occasional flash of goodness and then some really bad, crappy play. Another losing season with the Sam Bradford team. So what did the Philadelphia Eagles decide to do? They decide they're going to re-sign this asshole. I'm not kidding. They gave him borderline franchise quarterback money after he led them to a losing record. A guy that's never had a winning season, never made it to the playoffs, never been anything but a waste of time and disappointment in the National Football League for the Rams mostly, and now for the Philadelphia Eagles. They decide they're going to re-sign him and give him $18 million a year, which is craziness. But it's not all bad for the Philadelphia Eagles when it comes to Sam Bradford, even in spite of the fact that they did the ridiculous trade to get him to begin with, and then the even more idiotic move to re-sign him out of a panic thing as much as anything else. Looking at the bigger picture, it kind of worked out for this team. It helped him get Chip Kelly the hell out the door. It gave him that impetus to go make that big move to go get a future franchise quarterback in Carson Wentz, which they did. And furthermore, when you look at the fact that they gave up, what was it, a third-round pick and a second-round pick and Nick Foles, something like that, and were able to turn around and take that, which they gave up to get Sam Bradford, and turn it into a first-round pick in 2017, and at worst, a fourth-round pick in 2018 for Sam Bradford. Most teams probably wouldn't give up a fourth-round pick alone for Sam Bradford in 3 years from now's draft. The Philadelphia Eagles were able to take Sam Bradford and turn him into a first-round pick in 2017 and at least a fourth-round pick in 2018, which could become a third-round pick if the Vikings, I believe, make it to the NFC Championship game this season, and a second-round pick if they make it to the Super Bowl with Sam Bradford as a fucking starting quarterback. Get the fuck out of here. The Eagles were able to take Sam Bradford and turn him into even better draft pick currency long-term and begin the Carson Wentz era. For the Philadelphia Eagles, an organization in recent years that made a lot of bad moves, this was one of the really good ones. And at the end of the day, how ironic it is, it all worked out. Bradford was a bit of a blessing in disguise. You got rid of Chip Kelly. You were able to bring in Carson Wentz. And now you got some draft pick currency that you desperately needed because of what you had to give up to get Carson Wentz to begin with. The bigger thing I don't get is it took the Rams 5 years to figure this out. Really, for all intents and purposes, if the Vikings didn't drop their pants and take it up the a-hole, the Eagles were going to at least go into year 2 with Bradford as their starter. And now you look at the Minnesota Vikings. What is it about Sam fucking Bradford that these teams don't get? He's in his 7th year in the league. He pretty much is who the hell he's going to be. Why can't teams quit him? You feel like, and I'm serious here, you feel like the NFL when it comes to Sam Bradford, it's like one big scene out of Brokeback Mountain and nobody can fucking quit him. Jesus Christ. The Rams spent a number 1 overall pick on him in 2010 because they were idiots. The Eagles gave up a bunch to get him because they are idiots. And apparently now, the Minnesota Vikings, who seem to be a decently run organization and have had some good drafts recently and done some good things and have themselves poised to take another step, decide that, hey, we want to sabotage perhaps the next 2 drafts to bring in Sam fucking Bradford. Sam Bradford! The hell is going on here? I mean, I get Minnesota's philosophy in the sense of this. Is that the quarterback market at this point in time is kind of thin. You had visions of what Bridgewater could potentially be in year number 3. You know, you brought in Treadwell. You still got Adrian Peterson. You shored up the offensive line a little bit. You thought maybe you could take some of the reins off of Bridgewater a little bit in that offense. You could let him go a little bit more. A team that should have won their home playoff game against Seattle last year. Maybe this is a team that could take that experience and turn it to another level. And with Teddy going down, you don't want to basically give up on the season. You want it to seem like you still feel you can compete and be viable. I get it, and I understand it. But the fact of the matter is, the bottom line is, desperate teams do dumb things in the NFL especially. This is clearly a case of desperate teams doing dumb things. The Minnesota Vikings should be better than this. The Minnesota Vikings should know better than this. And yet, for some reason, they just got a hard-on in their desperation for Sam Bradford. It's like the dude that hasn't popped a fucking nut in like 6 months, some 5 on a scale of 10, comes walking by. Maybe she's got a little bit of a boobies. Maybe she's got a little bit of a booty. Maybe she doesn't. Maybe she's got a bit of a better face. But hey, turn out the lights. Who the fuck's going to know the difference? You want to hop on the good foot, do the nasty, and not. That's exactly what the fuck this reminds me of. This is ridiculous. This reeks of horny quarterback desperation. You gave up a first-round pick in the upcoming draft and at least a 4th-round pick in the following draft for Sam Bradford, who has won 0 playoff games in his career, has made the playoffs 0 times in his career, who has been in the league for 6 seasons now. This is number 7. He's going to be pushing 30 soon. The fuck? And furthermore, and I've talked about this for years now, championship teams don't trade for veteran, mediocre quarterbacks and expect to win championships. That's just not how it's done. It sucks big time that Teddy went down, I grant you. It sucks that Bridgewater's not going to be there. Hopefully he comes back in 2017 and he's Teddy again. But you don't sit there and in some ways mortgage the future. first-round pick for Sam Bradford. It's bad enough the Rams once spent a first-round pick on him. Now, after freaking 6 seasons of showing how much he sucks, the Minnesota Vikings have sunk another first-round pick into this asshole. And here's what my thing is that I get it if you're in the position of the Minnesota Vikings and you pulled off this type of deal for, let's say, a Drew Brees or a Phillip Rivers, maybe guys that were at the end of their career, but guys that you felt with the team that you have around them in Minnesota could be the type of guy that led you to a championship level. Bradford ain't that dude. I could see saying, hey, the Saints want to get rid of Drew Brees to clear out salary cap space. We're going to go in now. 1 year, fuck it. We feel like we can roll with it. I don't know if I fully agree with the move, but at least then I could get it. At least then I could understand it. You're bringing in a Hall of Fame type of talent. Instead, the Minnesota Vikings are bringing in Sam Bradford. If you were going to do this, and hear me out for a quick second, if you were going to sit there and go out on the market and get a quarterback, then why not just wait for the Broncos to cut Mark Sanchez and sign him? And before you laugh, I want you to really think about this. Really think about this. At the end of the day, between Sam Bradford and Mark Sanchez, what the fuck is the difference? A, there really isn't that much if you really think about it. B, you could have gotten Mark Sanchez off the scrap heap for basically nothing other than the probably minimum salary you were going to pay him this year and still been able to keep your first-round pick in 2017 and your fourth-round pick in 2018. The Minnesota Vikings gave up a first-round pick for a one-year mediocre rental because that's exactly what the hell Bradford's going to be. Are you really going to keep Sam Bradford around in 2017 when Bridgewater comes back? Are you really going to sink that much of your salary cap under Sam Bradford? Furthermore, the way he conducted himself in Philadelphia, do you want fucking Sam Bradford leading your team? Do you want Sam Bradford into that locker room? And the most ridiculous thing about this, for a one-year mediocre injury-prone rental, the Minnesota Vikings not only gave up a first-round pick in 2017 and a fourth-round pick in 2018, but they're making this move, and the NFL season for them starts in, what, 8 damn days? So you gave up all this for a one-year mediocre rental, who, by the way, hasn't been in your program, hasn't been a part of your system, so he's going to be catching up on the fly as you go. Holy shit. I literally thought it was bullshit when I first saw it today. I literally thought that I was dreaming. I could not believe an NFL team would be stupid enough, especially a team that's done a good job of assembling a nice young nucleus on both sides of the ball. A team would be stupid enough to think Sam fucking Bradford is going to sit there and take you to a freaking championship level. And then to give up what you did? I'm serious when I say this. You could have signed Sam Bradford off the scrap heap, or excuse me, Mark Sanchez off the damn scrap heap. And what's the fucking difference? Get past your biases. At the end of the day, there really isn't much. And there most certainly isn't enough of a difference to justify paying the price that the Minnesota Vikings did here. This is a desperate team that did something dumb. It had been a long time since they had busted a nut, so apparently they just couldn't wait, and they took the first average broad they fucking could. That's exactly what this reminds me of. I mean, the Minnesota Vikings are actually going to try and sell this to their fan base, that Sam Bradford's the type of guy that could lead them to a Super Bowl. That's it. I'm done. Oh, my God.